What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. We are your hosts, the Distorted Theorists, and we are coming to you live from the theater in Cineplex in St. John's, Newfoundland, with our spoiler-free review, immediate review of Captain America Brave New World, or Captain America 4. But before we get into that, as always, if you want to support the channel, we do appreciate if you would just take a second to hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, because we are 100 subscribers away from
less than
100 from 10K. Peter, we've been talking about this for months. We've been waiting on this film.
After months, after 476 different sets of reshoots, after Seth Rollins being cut out of the movie, after this, that,
that's a me heartstring.
It's finally here.
It's a
and
big
you know
year.
what? You know what? Should have kept it in the pot.
Oh,
should have kept it in the pot.
We keep it real here, so you're gonna get the good, the bad, and the ugly. This is the first Marvel film of the 2025 fiscal year.
The post Deadpool and Wolverine era.
It's a lot to come down from.
Welcome to the MCU. You're joining at a bit of a low point.
Is that what we're saying? It's a hard follow-up to Deadpool and Wolverine. I mean, there was a lot of hype.
It's a hard follow-up to what Captain America should be. Now, okay, don't get me wrong. This sounds like I'm on this movie. It's just not what I thought it was. I wasn't putting a lot of faith into this because after hearing and seeing movies that like have had extensive sets of reshoots, the biggest one was The New Mutants. Good God. People fed their families with that movie somehow. And I gotta say, like, this wasn't a terrible movie. If you're like, grand scheme of things, it's not a bad movie, but just something felt off throughout it. I was watching things, you could tell there were certain conversations that were having between characters that were meant to be had with other people, and they were either
very
digitally
almost.
Yeah, either digitally scrubbed out, or there was a shot that they changed the background so the lighting was different on the person. There was one point where Captain America is talking to a character near the end of the film, and the lighting on him does not suit the lighting that is around them. And it just felt off. I'm not saying this is a bad movie. This is it's on we'll put it on the Marvel scale. It's nowhere near the bottom, but unfortunately it's probably not going to fall towards anyone's very tippy top either. No.
But you know, we know that Kevin Feige has threw his hands up a little bit as of late and said, you know what, Marvel needs to get back to its roots, and a lot of that I think was supposed to be with the revamp and coming back of Daredevil, which is coming out in less than a month now. I think, unfortunately, Captain America 4 did get caught up on the cutting room floor a little bit before.
It was part of this whole thing, like, we've already filmed it.
Yeah, it was, and unfortunately, for anyone who kept up like we did on the trailers, they come hard. Like we were talking about the trailers, how good it looked. And that's unfortunately maybe one of the downfalls is the hype was next level and the movie was mid-level. So
like a lot of the characters I really did enjoy. Like Anthony Mackie's Cap is a different Cap than Chris Evans. You're not going, if you expect going into this like, well, then we'll lose. Yeah. Then we're going to do that together. You're not getting that Cap because that's not what he was.
But even before you go any further, that is one of the high points I just want to touch on is the wingsuit and just the acrobatics, we'll call it,
the fighting.
And the material, and the materials that it's made of. I won't even go that spoiler. And what the suit can kind of do is very Captain America, almost mixed Iron Man-esque, which is kind of very cool. But
it has to protect the user that does not have the super soldier serum running through their veins.
Exactly.
Harrison Ford did a very good job as Thunderbolt Ross. Giancarlo Esposito, who is a late addition to this film, was part of the reshoots. I love Giancarlo Esposito.
And you know what?
Great.
And one of the first things you said is he didn't get enough time, really.
I mean,
he's a big star, could have done a lot more. And again, it almost like as soon as his period of time in the film was over, we knew that he was caught because of reshoots or whatever. And it's a little shameful on that part, you know?
And the movie tried to capture a lot of what the Winter Soldier had. Was like, there's something going on behind the scenes. What is it? I'm not going to tell. And there's a lot of that. And then eventually it got to a point where it's like, well, it was made aware.
Yep.
So it was almost like this, like in Captain America, in Winter Soldier, we didn't know how that was going to end because we knew what was going on, but it was just like, this is unpredictable because Bucky was very unpredictable at that point with his character arc. And in this one, is part of this, and there's scenes where you're like, well, we know what's happening now.
Where's it going? And I said to Peter when the movie was almost initially over. I'm over here. I said to Peter when the movie was initially over. It was almost like they were like, "Oh, we're gonna do this for a big bad," and it was like, "Nope. You know what? We're gonna do this for a big bad." And it was like, "You know what? We're gonna." So I felt it got a little construed there, or misconstrued, whatever the word you want to use is. Got watered down or something. I don't know.
I said to Justin, just as where we were while we were waiting for the end credit scene, is that this didn't feel like a movie.
Yeah, it was almost like an episode that you would see on television, but just dolled up a smidge, I guess, for theater audiences. Yeah. It's in the trailer, not a spoiler. Red Hulk. We got our first main look, or full scope look. I was kind of digging it. I would have
liked to have seen more. I would have loved to have seen with a cigar.
Well, I think he might have made a joke or something about that. So.
Well, in the very beginning, he says, I gotta give up smoking, and he had a sucker instead. But I was like, I would have liked to have seen more.
And you know what? I'm a big Hulk fan ever since the MCU started, and I still, to this day, don't think any Hulk...
Few callbacks.
There was a few callbacks, we're not going to touch on them that much, but I just felt like the Hulk never did get his due, and I still think that carries through with this. I would love to see just a little more.
If we get the proposed World War Hulk that we're supposed to get, which unfortunately is going to be mostly CGI because it has to be.
Don't care.
If it's done by the right person, it can be an incredible movie, but Universal has to give up the Hulk.
Just a little bit off of Cap 4 for a second, do you think that a solo Hulk movie is due?
Yeah.
Do you think it will fly?
There's rumors that World War Hulk is the thing, but Universal has to help out or give them up.
Also, for anyone who does go see this movie, we won't spoil it, but there is one end credit scene that does take place at the very end of your credits, so make sure you stick around. It's definitely, it's nothing crazy, but it's definitely a zinger that sets up some future stuff.
We hope.
We hope.
It's kind of vague.
We gotta have some. What's next? Thunderbolts.
Yeah.
We know. We even said that this movie is a segue. It is a good segue into what is to come.
Thunderbolts are hiding something. There's something in those trailers that's missing. I don't care.
Well, there was a few things that happened in this movie that had us like going like, will that appear? We don't know. But overall, I still think it was a great entry, a needed entry into the MCU as a whole. We understand that we went into this movie knowing that there was some reshoots, knowing that there was a little bit of trouble, a bit of muddy water, if you will, due to, I guess, probably COVID, and then, there was political influence that made things had to be changed. So if you go in with a little open mind...
Yes, and this is the thing. If you're taking your kids and you're just going to see it, fine.
Yeah,
like it is a very palatable and manageable movie.
Exactly.
You will enjoy it. If you're going to scrutinize it, like I was and Justin was as well, that's when we're kind of like there's something that shows the cracks.
Yeah.
But you will enjoy the movie.
Yeah, like you're not gonna.
It's an enjoyable movie. I didn't come out like going like I was a waste of time.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean I don't think we would ever do that from a Marvel movie anyway. And I don't think you would as well.
There was just those little parts. I was like.
Yeah,
I'm no director, but I was like,
you're not? What? You've been saying all these years you've been a director. There was some things that we would have liked to see embellished and maybe turned up to from level 7 to level 10. Did we get it? Unfortunately not, but it's a Marvel movie. It's kicking off the year. It's February. It's early. We got 2 more in the chamber, and this one was just kicking it off.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us for our spoiler-free...
You didn't give your rating.
Oh, are we going to do a rating?
Well, I think you should. I think that's part of it.
Okay.
Why, you're just going to let them figure it out without going to see it?
Oh, you got me thinking now. I'm going to give it a solid 7. You're going to give it a 7? I was going to say 6.5, to be honest.
It's around there. Like, because again, it's got some heavy hitters out there that are bigger and better. Like I always talk about Far From Home, Guardians 3, and so many more. So I'm not even touching the Avengers.
I know I've said this a lot, but I feel like even more so on top of the rating, for me, this falls somewhere around the Ant-Man level of movie enjoyment.
Well, he's higher than Quantumania. For
sure. I'm talking about original Ant-Man, or maybe it's better than Ant-Man the Wasp too, but like somewhere in that scale. is where I would
better
put
than Love and Thunder. Sorry, Chris.
Let's try this again. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us for our non-spoiler review of Captain America Brave New World, or Cap 4 if you want to call it that. As always, if you enjoy these reviews and you enjoy watching the stuff on our channel, we need you to hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and leave us a comment down below if you've seen it. Your honest, spoiler-free, your honest thoughts, reviews, and breakdowns, and what did you enjoy, what are you looking for in the future, and what does the Thunderbolts hold? And with that, I am the real Jussy.
I'm really looking forward to the Thunderbolts, and like we always say around here,
Keep it real.